Thinking I'd make a little video here on boring a 5.7 Hemi Chrysler block, an old Van Norman 900S. You see right here we got the block in a boring stand instead of a deck mount with the boring. There's one thing everybody should make a note of. Before you bore a block out, always mic out the bores first. As you can see, this one, all the bore sizes on this bank are pretty much the same, with the exception of these two. And again, they're within spec. Little tight on one as far as I'm concerned. The other bank, you really can't see my writing. Then after we know that spec, we know how far we got to bore the motor over. We have the pistons over here. And each one of the pistons has been mic'd out to see what their oversize is and what their plus or minus specs are. And for a set of aftermarket pistons, not a racing pistons, they are pretty dang accurate. I was quite surprised. So now we know what our bore size needs to be, our final bore, via the pistons. Then we come over here to our little spec list here, or cheat sheet as I call it, and you see the pistons mic out at 3.945 or 100.216 millimeters. So what we want to do is finish or do final bore on the block up to 3.943, and then we hone it to 3.947. If you look down here a little further, you can see that with the piston diameter being 3.945 and the finish hone being 3.947, that leaves us with 0.002 piston to wall clearance, which is well within what the factory calls for, but it's also what the piston manufacturer calls for in clearance, which is something you definitely want them to find out. Some manufacturers want 3,000, some want 5, some want 1. It all depends on the brand of piston you get. And then of course we have the boring toolkit right here. Now I prefer to use 2 cutters. I'd really like to have a third, but finances don't permit right now. And what I'll do is my first cut I set to what the factory bore is supposed to be, and just do a quick pass to see how out around the cylinder is versus under or oversized, because every cylinder is going to have a wave to it. And the other cutter I have set as what my final bore size is going to be, and I will I will readjust the cutter size that I'm doing my initial bore with, because I do not take out more than 10 thousandths per pass. I know some guys with newer machines, they can take a motor 30 over in one cut. I've just never liked that look. It always leaves the cylinders very rough in my opinion, and creates more work with honing. 4 thousandths might not seem like a lot to some for going from final bore to final hone, but it gets kind of tiring if you have an old manual machine. If you're one of the lucky ones who have a new CNC set up and all that other high dollar stuff, then aside from you're lucky, more power to you. Alright, I'll come back to this video in a little while and show you how boring is. Figured I'd follow up a little bit, and hopefully this gives a little better insight to some who might have a question, even though I'm sure it's been done in 100 videos on how to set up a boring bar. This should prove interesting because I'm going to try and do it single-handedly. But we've got the bar over the cylinder, and then what you do is you bring out the feet, or the cat's paws, where it touches the cylinder walls. Move in here and give you a little better view to show you. Unfortunately, the lighting kind of sucks for a camera. Okay, so we're back at the boring board. Cutter is in, And now I'm going to drop the cutter to it's just above the cylinder deck. Turn that thing on, engage it, and let it go. This is where your ears come in, because when you listen to the cutter and make sure it's hitting like all the way around. What I prefer to do on this machine is once the cap coils are below the deck, I will actually bring them back out to where they're barely touching the cylinder. The more I use them as a guide than anything else. Hopefully you can see that. Pretty much it. We sit here and the next cut, and then the cut after that, and then we have our final cut. Look over here, you can see the cylinders that have already been bored.